Give honor to the Spirit of Christ. And we bring you greetings from the Christ Memorial Missionary Baptist Church.
Yes, sir.
We thank God for this honor and this privilege that we are able to come and share with you a few words from the Holy Writ. I also give honor to my two spiritual sons, whom I am certainly well pleased with. And they have done wonderfully well since leaving our church to come out into the field of ministry. I cannot be more proud
God bless you.
Two young men who have done quite well. I see Sister Monica back there, and the wife of Reverend Stewart.
Come on.
And I just can't hardly believe the growth I have seen in Reverend Stewart the last time I was here. And he was on fire for the Lord, and he still seems to be on fire.
Amen. Yes,
for the Lord. But we thank God for you, and we thank God for another day's journey.
Yes.
I see my good friend Sister Tucker is still with us, and every time I see her, it's always an uplift to know that we are still among a few of us old folk who are still sharing our wisdom
Look at you.
among the young folk.
That's right.
I know that it has already been read for your hearing, but if I may impose upon you just again, for I'd like to read it again from Joshua chapter 1, and verses 1 through 5, and you will find these words. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant is dead. Now therefore arise, go over to this Jordan, thou and all of this people, and unto the land which I do give to thee, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses, from the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river of the Euphrates, and the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea, towards the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. And there shall not any man be able to stand before thee all of the days of thy life. And as I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Amen. And church, after the reading of these passages of scripture, I would like to use for a subject this morning. Don't miss your season. Don't miss your season. This year, I believe, this summer, I have spent a great deal of time and effort watering my lawn. And it has become increasingly expensive. But money did not matter because my hopes were to get a greener lawn. But church honesty compels me to share with you that through my hard work and my effort, my lawn looks like a wintry lawn. It is kind of yellowish and brownish. Through all of my work and labor, I don't think that I have improved my lawn as I had hoped and anticipated. And church, I also want to say that there's one thing about the state of Ohio, you can't always tell the season by how things look.
Come on now. Come on.
And by how things may feel.
Right.
And although each season will usher in one another, there will be times when a season decides to hang around, stay around a little longer than expected.
Yes, sir.
And here in the state of Ohio, the calendar may read the 21st of March, and that spring has begun. But the winter season may decide to hang around another couple weeks before we can see any signs of spring. If my memory serves me correctly, this year, the beginning of 2019, it was still very chilly in the early part of April. I guess what I'm saying, you just never know.
Come on.
When a season decides to stay around a little longer than usual. Do I have a witness?
Yeah, you got it.
In the month of
Say it.
March or April, when the season changes, it's time when everything seems to be shifting. Flowers and trees begin to bloom because winter is attempting to pass the baton on to spring. During these confusing weeks in the month of March, we experience warm weather for about 3 or 4 days and chilly weather for the remainder of the week. And it seems to me that the dogwood trees blossom and the yellow jackets come out searching for pollen that has yet to be formed.
Say that, say that.
You might remember back in 1993, we all experienced a blizzard in the month of March. And that blizzard stretched all the way to Georgia. You see, the month of March is a very special month of the year.
Come on now.
And it's full of surprises. It is unpredictable because everything in March seems to be shifting. And just like the month of March, there are some people who have been shifted between the winter time and the springtime of their lives. Do I have a witness in here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have our good days and we have our bad days.
Yes, sir.
We've seen some days full of laughter, yet we've experienced some days that have questioned our authenticity. But I want you to be encouraged in knowing that winter don't last always. And if you've been experiencing some chilly times, please know that you're only being shifted into a new season. When there is a shifting in your life, you don't understand what may be going on, but don't get worried, don't get aggravated, don't get frustrated, don't be anxious for nothing. The transition is not really that bad. All that is taking place is that God is shifting you into a new season. As a matter of fact, we need to shout in knowing that even though winter and spring go back and forth and back, that God has an order in which He has placed on His season. And the order says that no matter how things look, spring must come after winter. So I have a witness in here. In other words, the psalmist said, weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and even though some of us may be going through dark days right now, the sun is about to shine. You see, spring is a sign of victory. We reset our clocks. We reflect on daylight savings time. We reset our clocks to spring forth into a new season. Some people complain about daylight savings time because they see it as missing an hour of sleep. But we ought to look at it knowing that we're being pushed into a new season of our lives. And the beautiful season of spring reminds us that we made it through a cold and chilly, rainy winter. That's why you just can't tell the seasons by how they look. It may look like winter seasons now in your spiritual life, but hold on for just a little while longer, because spring will be on its way. It may be winter on your job, it may be winter in your home, but spring is coming. It may be winter in your bank account, but hold on, spring is coming. Your winter might be hanging on a little bit longer than expected. It may be hanging on a little bit longer than you wanted to, but if you hold on and hold out, spring is on its way. Who have a witness in here? Now there are those who counted many of us out at the start of the year, but look at us now. We made it through it.
We made it through.
Some of us have made it through layoffs.
That's right.
And maybe some of us have been dismissed from our jobs. But look at you now. Look at you right now. It don't seem that you missed any meals. In fact, it looked like your suit size and dress size are gone up.
Quit it.
Somebody is taking care of you. But if I know my God, if he takes care of the little birds, he says surely he'll take care of us.
Yes, he will.
Oh, they said that we would give up when hard times come and we would walk away. But look at us now. We made it through our winter spirituality. We might have come through some things. We might have been bruised a little bit, but we made it, didn't we? And on the morrow when you go and walk into your workplace, you might walk there with a limp, but at least you're still walking. Because of your faithfulness, the Bible says you shall not reap if you don't faint. We just have to hold on, because we just can't always tell how the seasons look and how things look in this life.
Thank you, Lord.
There is much insight to be granted from this passage of Scripture. First of all, we see that after 40 years in the wilderness, God has purpose and destined his people to realize that they are moving at his love. When God delivered the children of Israel out of slavery, he brought them out of Egypt so that they may enter into the promised land. Church, it is my opinion that there has not been a people like the Israelites who have witnessed the power of God. There has been no people whom have witnessed the power of God like us African Americans. You see, Pharaoh finally agreed to let the people of God go. And during the period of demonstration of God's power, you would think that the children of Israel could recognize how God was protecting them and how God was delivering them in a good season. Yet the Bible clearly tells us that when they came to the promised land, the land of their possession, the land of their destiny, that which God had given to them, God had already made a way out of no way. That they were able to live in houses that they didn't beat. They were able to eat from fields that they did not plant. God had already made a way for them. But they would not accept God's promise that the land was theirs. They had some doubt on the inside of their lives. The Bible called them a hard-hearted, stiff-necked, rebellious people of unbelief. God wanted to bless them far better than they ever could imagine. And yet when they came to the moment of their destiny, the moment of their season, the moment of their inheritance, the moment of taking possession, the moment of God's visitation in their lives, they didn't have the faith or the belief that God was going to deliver them. In fact, they told God, we can't go because there are giants in the land that will prey upon our children. And God was so upset with this people because of their rebellion, because of their hard-heartedness, because of their unbelief, that he said, all right, you can sojourn in the wilderness for 40 years until all of you in this generation die.
That's right.
And out of 3 million or 6 million people, only 2 families ever entered into the promised land. And that was Joshua and Caleb. Therefore, for this preaching moment, I just want to remind us that there is a danger in missing your season. Many of us never have understood that God is a seasonal God. And when you walk with God, when we have a special favor with God, we do it in seasons. And I need to remind all of us, especially church leaders, to please take advantage of our present season, because the following seasons may not be that favorable. You see, many of us church leaders don't understand that at a different time, God has different kinds of refreshings and different seasons. He has different climates that we go through because God has a different purpose for all of our personal lives. And you and I must learn to live and operate in the present season. That's why a lot of people get confused and get all out of sync and upset because they have not adapted to the season that God has opened up for them. There are some who want to always live their lives in the springtime or the summertime and never prepare for the wintertime. But in this life, we're going to have some good days and we're going to have some bad days. We can't live our lives in the state of Ohio thinking that every day is going to be the month of May, because sooner or later, winter season is coming. Therefore, we must put on some clothes and we must put on some garments to protect us from the cold. Yes, there is much insight to gain from this passage of Scripture. And again, we see that at the 40 years that God purposed and destined these people to realize that He's holding them in the palm of His hand. Just look at these desert babies and how different their season is going to be as they enter into the Canaan land. For all of their lives, they have known God on a particular level. They have primarily known God as a God of provision. They call Him Jehovah Jireh, you know. And every day of their lives, they have experienced God in the realm of the supernatural. When it came to their food every day, supernaturally a miracle was wrought and manna came down from heaven. So when it came to what they ate, it was always supernaturally provided for them. They didn't have any do any farming because food was supernaturally provided. When it came to their drink, there was a rock that followed them, and all they had to do was to speak to the rock, and water would flow from the rock. 1 Corinthians tell us all did drink the same spiritual drink, for they drink from the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. So when it came to the food and the drink, it was all supernaturally provided every day of their lives. For 40 years, the children of Israel experienced supernatural blessing. When it came to direction, they never had to pray about which way we want to go, because all of their direction was supernaturally provided. All they had to do was to follow the cloud by day and the fire by night. They didn't have to pray or ask God, what do we do? Where do you want us to go? All they had to do was to follow the cloud. When the cloud moved, all they had to do was move. They didn't have to worry about or whether or not if we were in the will of God. What they saw is what they did and how they acted.
Yes.
And when it came to comfort, that was supernaturally provided too. It got cold at night and hot by day. But they never have to worry about being protected from the elements at night. The pillar of fire got close enough to keep them warm. During the day, the mushroom cloud protected them from the hotness of the sun and made the temperature just right. When it came to abundance, all of them had it. They had literally bankrupt Egypt. They were all rich. They had the spoils from the greatest power then in the world. And when they asked the Egyptians to give them gold and silver and riches, God turned the hearts of the Egyptians into a giving heart. And they poured out their wealth on the Hebrew people. The Hebrew people were rich, but they had nowhere to spend their money in the desert. And when it came to their clothes was a miracle. The clothes that they had as babies were the same clothes they had as adults. The clothes just grew as they grew. Just imagine wearing baby clothes at the age of 25. And the clothes looked brand new. Just like the day when they first bought the clothes. Look at the shoes on the feet. Shoes growing on their feet as they grew. Shoes never running over. Never losing a heel. Never getting a hole in the sole. I declare that was miracle clothes.